Welcome to the Knotie Show. My name is Chow and the co-founder for Knotie.ai. This channel is all about one thing, which is to give you step-by-step guidance on how to actually use AI for your business. And in this video, I've invited my co-founder Avi, who is an absolute AI expert. He spent over 100 hours on Openclaw recently and have built up his own AI army for his multiple businesses, and it's fascinating to see how this has changed his life and made his businesses more productive. Let's go and explore how he's done this. So how can you actually make money from AI workforce? Like, how do you spin up one of these digital employees so that they can run your marketing campaigns or handle sales or manage inbound leads all whilst you sleep? And is it really possible that you can scale this without a computer degree? Well, in today's episode, we're going to show you the tactical source of how to actually use AI agents. Welcome to the Knotie Show. My name's Chow, co-founder at Knotie.ai. If you're still trying to scale an agency by selling one-off AI bots or custom prompts, you're trapped in a model that doesn't scale. Businesses don't need tools. They want digital workforces that can handle their sales, marketing, and outbound leads. So today, I'm really fortunate to have my co-founder, Avi, who's our technical lead. And Avi, you've been developing bots for our clients and for our own business, and it's so exciting what you're doing here.
Yeah. Thanks for creating the show, Shao, first of all. I mean, yes, there's been a lot of things going on, and I think the AI space is really running much faster than we have anticipated even a few years back, right? So yes, I've been playing with a lot of the latest technology, especially Openclaw, which we have been discussing as well. I'm happy to show around some of the stuff that I've built.
Yeah, please do, because I think as part of the show, we recognize that AI is running so quickly, but most businesses are just failing to keep up. And this is why we want to have the Knotie Show to help everyone to better use AI agents.
Yeah, true. That's true. Let me actually, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Like, so what I have been playing around for last couple of weeks, I would say 2 weeks, is the Openclaw system. And I had that idea of creating a self-autonomous system using Openclaw. Because of course I run like 3 companies. As you know, we have our own agency. I have Sonti, which is where we are building on Knotie as well. And we also do have another startup, which is on the healthcare part. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I need to remind on, and also I need to work on. And it's very easy to miss, the important tasks. So that's why I was thinking to create this OS, or you can say an autonomous system, which I call it FounderOS. And it's been really working great so far, at least I can say, and I can show you some of the tasks that it is doing without, of course, giving a lot of the details because it's for my company, as you can imagine. So don't want to go a bit details and show insider of my company, but I can show you how some of the tasks that it is doing. But just to give you a bit of the structure, so in this whole setup, I am the founder and director of all the work company, including I have my personal stuff as also being managed by Openclaw. And it is not just Openclaw, there is a subsequent system that is working together. So Openclaw being the orchestrator, I can say. So here I have Aria. So Aria is more like my executive assistant. So Aria doesn't do any task. So it is just there, and she just do like delegate stuff. She just know who to delegate the task. And again, I didn't want it to have a lot of complicated rules and everything with Aria, because the more information I'll give it to her, she will be puzzled up. So all her task is to delegate the task to the different companies' CEO. So what we have built is, for every company, I have built like a CEO employee who is, I would say, accountable for that whole organization. And so that I have for the No Labs, I have for Sonti, and then I have for XI. So Aria doesn't need to tell, let's say I have a work for Sonti. Aria doesn't need to tell that, hey, please ask your project manager to do the stuff. Because this is what we used to be doing in the past when we have been writing rules for each AI agent. And I think, frankly, that's I believe is past. I think people really need to focus on the structure on how they want to build a self-autonomous system. And all Aria needs to do is connect CEO of Sonti or Knotie Labs and say, this work needs to be done. That's it. And then it is up to the CEO and his, 3-suit AI employees to delegate the task accordingly. So as you can see, there are like almost 24, and then if you consider this, there are almost over 30 agents running here altogether. And it's a really complex system. I think I'm spending quite a lot of money on that as well, but this has been working pretty good because each of the company have its own developer, it has its own market researcher. So we are creating content as well using that, and then for Sonti we also have customer support as well. That's currently, this is now in beta. It's coming up. So a lot of the people who are in our Knotie.ai platform, they will be seeing this customer support very soon in our Discord channel. So it's coming up, and of course everything is managed from a financially. There is a finance CFO. So what I'm doing is I'm setting a budget for every company, and that budget is mainly managed by the CFO. And this agent has only one task, is to maintain budget for the whole company. And this has really been exciting. I mean, I can talk a lot about this, but if you have any specific interest in this one, I'm happy to go on.
That is so fascinating. So you're almost like the MD, and then you are just talking to one agent, and that agent is then talking to all the other agents.
Yeah, and they do their own stand-up. I don't have to be part of that. For example, Santi, so the CEO and CFO and all these agents, based on their area of where they are deployed, they do their own stand-up. But I can see, so I have like a dashboard that built in where I can see all the communications that they are doing, all the stand-up, whatever they're deciding and everything. So if there is anything, for example, if the CEO needs to spawn up a new agent, for example, for some task, that is where I come in. So that is why it let Aria know, and Aria actually takes a decision from me. And so I have deployed some system. For example, I've deployed some Redis queue and all this stuff just to make sure that if in case some of the system goes, stop or something, then to ensure that it can pick up from where it has stopped. That is really important, right? That is one thing that I have captured. Then there are security element as well. Like I, of course, don't want to give it all the API key. That's where Knotie as a platform have been really, really helpful because almost, I would say 70 to 80% of this entire ecosystem is powered by Knotie, from the API key to up to the tool integration. So which I will of course show you how it is done, maybe in the later part of the video or in the next episodes, if you wish. I mean, you know what? I think it would be great to rebuild this system. Maybe not this complex, but maybe create one company, just maybe focus on one company, and we can create one system. And I can just show you how things are being built using multiple tools.
I think that's fascinating. And I think for our viewers, that's going to be incredibly helpful because they're here in our channel because they want to improve their own business, whether that's their own agency or their business. So to have you going through all of how you built up your Openclaw agents, that is just fascinating.
Yeah, as I was saying, like this, any new hiring, in terms of hiring, creating AI employee, I need to give final sign off, but Aria does all the recording. For budget control, there are CFO, and this also, I've tried to capture it like a very simple, HTML file. This is nothing but an HTML file. I didn't want it to show the actual dashboard because it has contained a lot of the business data as well. But in a very high level, every team has whatever access. This is showing, like, for example, the CEO of a team have access to my Stripe as a read-only access, of course. But again, that is also powered through Knotie. And then this also have access to free agent, for example, to do the accounting records and everything. So this is really fascinating. Like CMO doesn't need to have access to invoicing systems, for example. So it have only access to social media accounts. And all these access policies and controls are kept outside of Openclaw, which is where I think a lot of people are doing it wrong, where they are giving the Openclaw all the API key and all the secrets in that box. And also what I'm seeing is a lot of the people are doing is, and a lot of the videos are talking is also creating one VPS or one Mac Mini or something and setting up all of this multi-agent system. That's not how a business would operate, because what happens if that Mac OS, or your Mac Mini dies, or if the VPS gets into, crash or something, so you cannot build a business around it. If you're serious about it, if you're like playing prototype, I will say, yeah, fine, go ahead with one VPS. Like each of this agent that you're seeing here, each of this agent is actually running on almost separate VPS. Not every time. Some of the agents are also together running in one server if they're lightweight. that's how it is all designed. But each of these have its own system, and it has its own workspace, and there are different protocols there. There are A2P protocol, there are A2A protocol, which is agent to agent communication. You have MCP, you have ACP. So all these protocols really improve their ACP protocol. Just recently, I think yesterday, so I am kind of upgrading my system as well. And the other best thing that you also need to think about when you're creating such system is how you will do the management of things. What if something goes wrong? Because this is an autonomous system. What if something it is generating is not what is in the goal of the entire business or entire agent. How do you manage those? These are also very important. So you should have all those control points. You should have some guardrails and everything. So this system is all built keeping on mind. I've literally spent over 3 weeks on it to build this system. But I can show you. I can show you with a really simpler structure, not this complex, so that you can start slow and lean, and then you can build up. I mean, I of course haven't built up on from day one this big system, right? We just build up on one after another, actually. So yeah.
That's perfect. And so I'm just fascinated to know that now that you've built up the system and because you're running multiple businesses, what changes has this made now that you've got your digital employees?
I think one thing for sure has improved is I'm not losing track of anything. Like if I literally show you my Google task earlier, if I just go to Google task, you see like I have so many tasks like this for every stuff, and now it's all clean because I'm not managing it anymore, right? So that was really an achievement, I would say, and I would almost forget everything with so many things on the mind. Of course, that is one thing. It has saved my time, and it has also improved quality, especially when it comes to content, because otherwise earlier I had to spend quite a lot of time on focusing on, let's say, just creating one image. And now what I had to do is just had given it a specific, content format and some of the mascot, and it just produces content in autopilot. I don't have to even worry about it. But yes, I have an approval system in place. So I use Go High Level again through Knotie to do the social media posting, but every social media is being posted, I get an approval. So I just need to do like, yes, approve. Or if I say don't approve, then also there is a content pipeline, which is where Aria come to know that this content was not approved, and then it can track that who was this for, like which company was this for, and then it can accordingly instruct that particular CEO that, hey, by the way, this content was not approved. So then it can process it to its marketing CMO, and then the CMO will go to the marketing team that it has got. So, and everything that I'm talking about now is all managed by my PM tool. I can show you that as well, how it is working.
That's perfect. And I think over the next few weeks, we're going to be covering in detail of how we can build each agent or orchestra agent. But before we do that, if you just can give us a bit more in terms of how this is structured.
I can do that, definitely. So this is the FounderOS that I've again created a simple HTML file about the task that I have been doing step by step. So it has got from your setup to hardening, and then to have the clarity. I think we need to spend a lot of time on having the clarity of what you want to build. I think a lot of the people, what they're doing is they're jumping and trying to build something without knowing what they actually want to build. That's really important. You need to have clarity actually what you want to achieve, and then you design the system first, and then you actually go ahead and install and stuff. So when it comes to the actual work, everything, as I was saying, is managed via my PM tool. And this is only, I've created a clone of my existing project board to show you how things are being done. For example, this is a Knotie board, and just today at 15, not today, I think yesterday, day before yesterday, this was created by one of the Sentinel bot that I have, which is run by Openclaw again. So it did check all our logs, that's been generated part of Knotie, and it found out between 1:30 and 2, there have been 4 unauthorized error for WAPI agent in Knotie. And it also did analysis of why that has happened. So it did all the root cause analysis. It went through all the logs and traces. And then it also checked the performance of the system, that earlier it was 800 millisecond. It has degraded to 1000 millisecond. This, I think, if you want to do this kind of analysis in an enterprise world, it will take several days for one issue identification. And it kind of did all of that, and it has, it has also said what action we need to do, and it did add a priority there, and it's created by Claude, as you can see. It's a name I have given it a Claude, and then it tagged me here as a comment, like, we detected this, please take this action. So this is all it has done. Another example, I'm just going to go to our Mattermost. This has happened just today at 11:23 today. It did again health check, and it found out some of the error. It tagged my team members. It tagged me as an FYI. It tagged as our team member. And it says, please go to this monitoring platform and monitor why it is happening. So this is a kind of detailed stuff that this agentic system or autonomous system is doing for me. Earlier, I could not do this, to be fair. Let's show you something else. Okay, so if I go to this board, this is basically, I wanted to know, because the Openclaw as a project is moving so fast. So I wanted to know what are the changes that is happening in Openclaw, how people are using it, and what are the problems that users are facing. Because as an entrepreneur, I am always going to be looking at what problems people are facing, so we can create solution and sell it, right? And so what it does, this autonomous system, it basically goes through all tweets. It in fact, so if you open any of these tweets, so it does it run every day, and it goes through all the tweets, it goes through Reddit, and it find out problems. So it find out problem, for example, here, and people are, so maybe if you go to this X, you will actually see some post. So you see here, so it has actually found out this exact problem this person have posted, and it has captured all of these details. And again, it has then tagged me that it has found out something. Although why tag me is basically all I have to do is just come here and add a comment and tag some other agent, which is going to do the next part of it, that is going and consolidating this into a report and then post it on social media with some tags, and I don't have to do anything. And it can also add it to my newsletter. So if we publish a newsletter tomorrow, for example, on Openclaw, we can easily use this into a newsletter to our viewers. I mean, as I said, the possibilities are endless. And the best part is it's autonomous, so I don't have to actually tell it to do things. They can come up with things as a self-improvement options that what I should do next based on all the data that it has got. That's really powerful.
Wow, that's just fantastic. So does that mean, just thinking of putting it into a real business scenario, if we have viewers who are, let's say, in the printing industry, they can look out for what's happening in the printing industry, or accountants, they can look at what's happening in the accounting world.
Yep.
And then they've got bots that can just summarize, and then that can help them to run their business.
Yeah, I mean, if they're confident, I can help them. I mean, if I got time, I can help them even to take action. Of course, not the critical ones, but at least the easy ones that kills time. You know, you do, sometimes you do spend quite a lot of time on actions or tasks that are really doesn't have that much impact on the business or the business revenue. So you can easily outsource those tasks to agent. In fact, you can, I mean, what I'm trying to build as next is now I have a team, and I'm trying to assign each of the agent to each of the team member. So this agent will talk on their behalf, you know. So basically they will talk with the agent and they will give update or whatever challenge they're facing. And this will be feedback with the existing agentic system. And, you know, based on that, it will take action as well. So I'm just trying to, you know, expand this out. So as you said about the printing companies or any other businesses, we can not just create summaries. We can actually let this agent take actions when you integrate tools, but you have to be very careful, as I said, not giving full access, give really controlled access. And this is where I think Knotie will definitely help you. And that's what I have done actually in my use cases.
That's perfect. And I'm so excited that to be learning more. So yeah, please show us more of the system and what we'll be learning in the coming weeks.
Yeah, sure. I think what I can do, I was just thinking to launch another, not business as a separate business, registered business, but maybe as a separate product that we can launch. And I was thinking of maybe as part of this exercise, let's create a real one, right? Like not just a demo as we are discussing. So I think what we will do really is I'll go first. I think I'll help you with this one, the FounderOS stuff. Not a FounderOS, sorry, the agent templating. I will help you first to have your idea properly put in, have your template properly put in, you know, in the right structure, you know, create the template hierarchy, your company structure, or your agent-based AI employee-based company structure. Let us first help you with that, and then I'll help you with how to do it securely, how to install it, and not just install it, but install it safely and securely. Not how I can guarantee you it's not how you have seen the YouTube videos that's available in the internet, because I genuinely believe the way YouTube videos are showing to set up Openclaw agent, that is only for prototyping or testing out. It's not for production. So I'm actually going to show you how to do. And then I will have this sort of checklist. This is a checklist that I created when I was, you know, I was creating my system, but I will create a separate similar checklist where I can just give you, it's an interactive checklist. So as soon as you'll do stuff, you can just mark it done, and this will be all captured properly. So you know that what you have done, and then you can move along. So we'll create that. And then we will create an army of AI agent. And my idea is maybe what we can do, I was just thinking, I was saying that I was thinking to launch a product, and I'm thinking to launch a product to sell maybe Openclaw system, like the system that we will talk about, right? We can start to sell it to different businesses. So maybe we'll do something Openclaw system here. So, sorry. So what we can do is do Openclaw system, and this Openclaw system, basically what we will do, we'll create different agents. We can so agent army, or we can do Openclaw. When I say Openclaw, it doesn't have to be Openclaw, by the way. So it can be Openclaw, it can be Claude, it could be a combination of multiple based on what suits your needs. And in this case, we are going to probably use Openclaw. We'll use maybe some part of Claude code. We'll use some part of, I'm thinking to use also some part of maybe Cursor CLI to do some bit of coding. And what I really want to build is a business which will sell the Openclaw agent army or Openclaw ecosystem, or for that matter, some Openclaw user guide. So as we'll build this agentic system, we'll create this stuff, which is more like a product, and each product it will try and sell. And how it will sell, we'll also create like a marketing. We'll also create a marketing team which will put up, as it will create more and more product, it will automatically start posting those products into its own social media. So we'll create a separate social media. Maybe I am thinking what to name it. Maybe Knotie or something, because Knotie is my brand. So I'll probably use that. Haven't thought of it really. I will check what domain is available, and then maybe Knotie or something. We'll see. We'll see the name based on the domain available. And this Knotie will be like a bot, or like an AI employee, or like an AI founder, rather I would say AI CEO, who takes decision and who runs this business, which create product, which does all the marketing, and this will have its own Stripe account, so it will take payments from users, and it just needs a little bit of me on taking decisions. Basically, that's what I will do. I don't want to spend too much time in it because, of course, I'm already overoccupied. I would rather create an autonomous system which will do all the tasks for me. So let's target to do that. Let's see how much we can do. This is again a challenge for me as well, because all the things that we have been doing so far, it's only running or helping with tasks in my own company where I'm taking decisions. But this is more sort of I can say challenge that we are taking, where we are building a company itself, and not just a simple company. It's a company of end-to-end, which will run autonomously, create product and sell product, and do all the marketing. How does that sound?
That just sounds fantastic. And I think it just shows that we're both innovating from a business perspective and a technology perspective.
Yeah.
And we're taking our viewers along that journey,
Sure.
Teaching them and showing them how it's done. So please like and subscribe.
Yeah, let's do that. Of course, along the way, we'll use Knotie because that's one of our product. As much as possible, not always. We need to use Knotie. But yeah, we'll see. We'll probably start from the next episode, building the framework, and also start building the stuff, the real sauce, I would say. All right.
Fantastic. This is so exciting, and we hope our listeners come along with us on that journey. Follow us and subscribe. And you, of course, what you get out of this, anything that you learn, you can build and deploy into your own business.
Yep. Perfect.